Hello, hello. Anybody is there? Hey, yep, I'm streaming with FFmpeg, so not sure whether you can hear me properly or no. So if you are hearing properly and everything is fine, just like write it in the chat. This is the first trial and I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. So just write some stuff there if you can hear me properly. All right, good to hear. Thanks for checking that out. Yeah, so yeah, I'm using FFmpeg. It's just like a super complicated script, and I just like spent some times on it, like long time ago, like 2 months ago, I think. But to be honest, I never had a chance to try it out on the live stream, see how it works. I did a couple of like private live stream with it, and once I reached to a certain degree, I just did it and then I left it there. So yeah, now randomly, of course, I decided to maybe give it a try, since I have been also absent for a while, being busy with other stuff. So yeah, let me see, maybe even I can share the scripts if there's not much of private information there. I don't remember, to be honest. But it's just like super long. Part of it, of course, I stole from Zany's scripts, but I have modified it because like he set the setting very high, like for the hardware that I have. Mine is literally like 10 years old, and yeah, a lot of those stuff won't work on my system. Okay, it's me. Close this one for a sec. And of course the new fetch here, and I'm gonna open another. See, no, actually I'm on the stable. Like I haven't touched OpenBSD like in 2 months almost. I've been busy with life. Like I haven't had a time even to do anything. Like if I showed the backlog of the videos that I wanted to create, you would just like be surprised with like how many topics I wanted to cover, but I really didn't have time to do for any of them. So yeah, this is actually the script that I modified a bit and then added like super complicated stuff to it to work on my ThinkPad T430 from 2012. And if I am not mistaken, I am actually, yeah, I'm streaming full HD. But you see the hardware, like even like the CPU temperature is not that high, it's 66 degree, 50% load. Of course I have enabled the hyper-threading. Without hyper-threading I don't have much of hope, but yeah. So YouTube is telling me that it's not receiving enough data to maintain a smooth streaming. So just to make sure that, do you guys hear me properly, or is it just like totally messed up? Okay, good to hear, thanks. Yeah, I cannot trust for now, because like I did like long time ago when I was doing this experimentation, it was just like a lot of like things didn't work out, so I'm not 100% sure still. Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, I have like 15 like tabs open on like uh, on my browser. Maybe I try to actually close some of them, hopefully it will help. And okay, couple of the unnecessary garbage go away. Yeah, the slight distortion, if it's a noise, it probably is coming from my laptop, but if it's not that, then I don't know what it is, to be honest. So yeah, this is the script. It's just like, let me maybe go through it. So the thread queue size, blah blah blah, I don't remember this one, but like this part, the one that starts from SND stuff. So this is just like, I mapped it in such a way, I created some the concept of the virtual, I think, sound card or something like that. So this monitoring, yeah, I am just like gradually, like slowly remembering the stuff. Oh, my mic. Okay. Yeah, I try to fine tune it next time. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's just like, or without any planning, I just like at sometimes I say, yeah, you know what, let's try it. Maybe also it could be because of this stuff, because it is at the same time listening to the audio output of my laptop. Maybe that produces some garbage, noise, things like that. I'm not sure, so I try to reduce the volume there, or even let's mute it. So hopefully it will kind of like go away. So yeah, as I was saying, so as you can see, there's like two input for the sound. So one is the SND0 mon. So this one you have to create it manually, so it listens to the output of your sound card. So if I, let's say, play music, then you will hear it as well. This is what is like desired when you are using stuff like OBS. And then there's this one, which is literally microphone. And if I am not mistaken, this thread queue size, I put it like this high number because I was receiving some sort of warning. And the filter complex, I don't remember anything. Probably I have stolen it from somewhere else. This one is from the, basically, since I have two monitor, external monitor and the laptop monitor, and it's just like saying where it starts. So it starts from like 0, full HD, stuff like that, frame rate 30, and this is the video bitrate. And the formatting, I choose the ones that supposed to use less CPU, because this is like 3rd generation Core i5, so I don't have my hope highs. And then yeah, the last part is just taking the string key stuff from a text file. Yeah, I don't remember this kind of stuff, to be honest. I've done this like 2 months ago, even more than that, maybe. Probably in April, end of April, maybe early May. Yeah. But nonetheless, yeah, it's good that it works at least to a certain degree. So I'm not entirely disappointed by it. Yeah, and the thing is like, like if somebody asks me why didn't I put video for almost a month, like, of course the easiest way is to say, yeah, I was busy, but to be honest, that's not entirely accurate. I was busy a bit to a certain degree, and also I was lazy to do it, because like what I realized is that like the more effort I put to put videos, I wrote it I think one time in one of the community posts, the more effort I put to put videos, it's just like kind of like people like unsubscribing from the channel, and I said like, what the hell, maybe I stopped uploading for a while, then I saw like I get basically the same like subscription or things keep increasing, like of course super slow, not to the degree that I want, but it's still it's the same. Like if I don't upload let's say a video for a month, at the end of the 1 month I get like, I don't know, 20-30 subscribers. If I put 2 videos per week, it's the same story. So it kind of like discouraged me from putting more stuff, and I'm just like very curious how many subscribers I'm going to lose after this stream. Yeah, and there is also no like there's no point of creating so much videos. Like if it like I reached a certain degree that I feel like, yeah, it doesn't deliver much of values, so why would I bother, you know? And this is a sad thing. Like I really like to create videos, but like, yeah, you gotta get some sort of feedback, right? And like if you don't get much of feedback, then yeah, you know what, like the hell with that, fuck it, I don't care. You know, it's just like that. I don't think it's YouTube is, I definitely YouTube is weird, yeah, I agree, but the other part I think is like probably I'm making shitty content, or like I don't know like how to create content that people they start like liking it. Of course I'm not trying to please people, because like I don't give a fuck about the revenue, but like it's good to have some sort of like, I don't know, feedback loop, that you at least know that, yeah, maybe I'm in some sort of a right track, or not just totally like spraying and praying. But yeah, yeah, of course it's not a popular subject. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I started doing it, right? I saw like not that many people creating content, and I said, yeah, you know what, I like this stuff, and then why not just like create video about it, right? Like the objective wasn't obviously that, yeah, I want to uh get famous or like earn money. This is just like absolutely crazy. Like whomever thinks that way is just like have no fucking clue about anything in related to the operating systems and stuff like that. I mean, Linux itself is like super small. It has like a small community compared to like Windows and Mac OS, and then you just like take the OpenBSD, which is like nothing. It's just like, it's not even like a fraction. I'm not sure even like how many people, like there's no number on the actual users. No content is good. I like making videos and I hope people enjoy them. Yeah, I mean, if you like to make videos and you have time and like patient for it, definitely go for it. Like it's a good thing to do. But I don't know, I don't think in my case I have enough like patience for it, or enough motivation to do it sometimes. Obviously, I mean, I love OpenBSD. I want to see it get like more mainstream, but also on the other hand, I just look at it, I see, yeah, you know what, I have a life as well. I cannot sit in front of computer, I don't know, 15 hours, 17 hours per day, just like try to do a stuff like, because like my day job is just also sitting in front of computer all the time. And like once I'm passing like 5-6 p.m., I say, yeah, you know what, maybe not the best idea to continue sitting in front of it, and it's not healthy as well. But if somebody, again, it has like the capacity for it, has the time, has resources, or is young, yeah, why not? Like I'm not that young anymore, so as you start like aging, you start seeing things differently, right? And the priorities shift. So right, and be productive. Yeah, I mean it's I'm not saying it's like, I don't think it's unproductive or whatever. Like it depends, like what do you like, right? And like people, they try to say, yeah, okay, yeah, playing games is not productive, whatever. No, not really. I mean, I'm not a gamer. I don't like gaming, right? Like, that's the thing that people, they often get me wrong. Like, they look at me, they say, this dude is like a fucking nerd, right? And like, do you know the AAA game title or stuff like that? I say, no, I have no fucking idea what the games. I have no idea. The last game I played, I think was Red Alert 2, like 2001. Actually after that I played, I think, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I think this is also like 10 years ago, 10 years old title. That's the last time I played. Like even like when I was a teenager, I didn't really have like a thing for gaming, but there is nothing wrong with it, right? And it's like, this is the way I see, like people say, yeah, it's not productive, etc, etc. But the thing is, like, okay, if somebody doesn't play game, right, in their free time, okay, what do you do instead, right? Going on the streets, is it productive? Going to the club, is it like a fucking productive thing? You're just like discovering science in a club. So in that regard, I say, yeah, do whatever you want, do. Like, just like whatever. If you feel comfortable with it, do it. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Do something else instead. The most important thing is, like, are you happy doing this or you are not? If you're happy, then that's fine. Like, what people they say or what they think doesn't matter. Like, as I said, like, I'm not a gaming guy, so maybe probably maybe I'm not like giving the best input here, but yeah, but whatever. Hi. Welcome. Hope you have a lovely day, evening, night from wherever that you are tuning in to this stream. So let me check the HTOP, see how's it going. Yeah, I'm surprised. It's just like the load is pretty low. And that makes me scared that whether it's working or it is not working again. So let me check the stream health very quick. Yeah, not receiving enough thing. Hopefully it works. I don't know. Let's see. But like to reach to this stage that the streaming kind of works smoothly, I have to do a lot of stuff like and I have a plan to create a video about like fine-tuning this OpenBSD, because like if you take the default installation, even if you enable the hyperthreading and stuff like that, and even if you add your user to a different login class, still you won't get the desirable results. Like the issue that I had was like one of the issue I had when I had like a couple of the tabs on my browser and trying to record this stuff. Oftentimes I would have gotten some sort of like error or warning on the FFmpeg, and then the CPU would have spiked to like 100% and like didn't go down after that until I start modifying bunch of kernel parameters. That helped, and the list of the modifications I have done is a bit long, but maybe I can give a very sneak peek of it. So it's under here, where it was, cctl config, I think. Yeah, so these are like some of the kernel parameters that I add, and I'm not gonna go through and explain each of them now. I create a separate video for it, like I promised that. I have a scripted, documented halfway, but like if I get more time, definitely I will do it. And yeah, but this is just like one part. Then there's like bunch of like fine-tuning on the Firefox to do, and also get some sort of like decent playback experience on Firefox, because like the default one is absolutely horrible. It's like a dog shit. It's just not working properly. And yeah, I have to create a bunch of videos. Like the list is so long on my backlog. Like the other day I was playing a bit with the VAPI driver from Intel, right? So that's a VAPI a GPU driver, and there was some sort of attempt a couple of years ago. Of course, this is like for the older Intel generation. I think it starts from like a third generation to fifth or something like that, or to sixth. I don't know. I don't remember the stuff on top of my head, but there was like some initiative like long time ago on the OpenBSD, but somewhat it didn't got merged to the upstream. And I managed to go through the mailing list, pull all those shit, and get the latest version of the VAPI driver and compile it on my OpenBSD, and also compile the FFmpeg to enable VAPI. And after that, I could use the like GPU acceleration, right? Or hardware encoding, sorry. The hardware encoding when I was recording FFmpeg. But the problem is like when you use the hardware encoding, GPU hardware encoding, especially on Intel, the quality is bad. Like all these like colors and stuff like that, it's just like totally messed up. But I plan to do a video about that as well, right? So just like to showcase, yeah, if somebody really need it, wants to do it, it is possible. Just like grab this stuff from a repository. I already have like created a repository with all those instructions and stuff like that, but I haven't made it public because like it requires like some final touch. And this is mainly a problem with me. If I get like super focused on something, I just like spend a lot of time, like I don't know, 2-3 days constantly, get it working, and then like once I got this dopamine kick that yeah, I managed it, it's working, and like yeah, I could crack the code, let's say. Afterwards, it's just like it's a pain in the ass to try to document it and then make it proper so everybody would understand it, or present it in such a way that is understandable. Yeah, but yeah, nonetheless, I have like tons of stuff in regard to that. Like I'm just like going through my backlog of the stuff that I was supposed to do about OpenBSD. So I wanted to create like a video series on the like OpenBSD security features. I never had a time even to look into it. Talking about the unveil and pledge. Kernel compilation. Like this one I yet have to try with something, and that is like I want to enable, for example, audio output on HDMI because it's not supported by default on OpenBSD, and I read somewhere that it's possible if you just recompile the kernel and enable some of the flags, it's possible to enable the HDMI output. That's something that I wanted to do for a long time and haven't had a time. Or another one is like OpenBSD on embedded systems, something that I never had a time again to create a video about it. SSH stuff, setting up the OpenBSD server, more porting videos, and let's see. Like I wanted to create also a video about like the resources to learn OpenBSD and Unix in general. Yeah, the list is long. It's super long. I'm just like, I think by now it's just like around like 30-40 kind of like videos behind, like about virtualization. That's also something that I wanted to create because like the virtualization is not as straightforward, and as a result I wanted to extend that to create stuff like ch roots and things like that. They are like a bit like too technical. This concept maybe is not the mainstream thing. Like if somebody doesn't know like what the fuck is ch roots, probably they just gonna dislike the video and move on. Keep the great work. Yeah, thank you. Definitely I try. What's the CPU you are using? Yeah, I'm using actually Intel Core i5 3rd generation from 2012, and I'm streaming from OpenBSD. Yeah, so this is especially for those that they say yeah, you need the best and the latest hardware to do shit like that, but definitely that's not the case. So as you can see, so Core i5 3320M, so this is the mobile CPU, and it's just like integrated graphic cards like HD 4000, and this is the 1080 actually video. Yeah, I mean on Linux definitely the experience is smoother, but it's not something that you say, yeah, it's impossible to do on OpenBSD. That's not correct. The thing is, like, people, they want everything ready, right? And they want not to spend enough. Like, it's just like one way or another, right? So you have to either spend the money to get things easy by, I don't know, like Windows license. Although I doubt that whether like Windows, for example, is makes your life easier. But like in case of like Mac OS, yeah, you need to spend a lot of money to get that experience and that ease. And like some people in the Linux community, they are just like comparing Linux against OpenBSD. Oh yeah, we have this stuff, you don't have shit like that. Yeah, but maybe take one step back and then start like comparing Linux with Mac OS or something, not just like with the underdog, right? Try to compare it with something like that has like a wider audience, and it provides like definitely better end-to-end user experience. And if you do that, then you realize that really, from a perspective of a person who is not super technical, who is not into this kind of stuff, like, doesn't matter, you give them Linux or OpenBSD, both of them suck. Like, really, literally, that's the case. So that's why I totally don't like this argument that, yeah, which one is better. Yeah, it's like both of them are, depends from which angle you look at them, could be like super good or could be like super shitty. Because yeah, it's just like, yeah, from the open source perspective, freedom that you have, like a lot of flexibility, is fantastic, both of them. But like from end user perspective, yeah, both of them are disappointing. It's just like, it's a reality, but people, they don't want to accept it. Like, I'm saying this one as somebody who has used like Linux for, I think, almost like 20 years now, and like OpenBSD, I think like 3 years. And when somebody give me like a, let's say, a Mac device like Apple that I have to use, let's say, for work and stuff like that, I see, it's just like, you know what, it's really easy. It's just like, I don't want, like, when I'm trying to, let's say, go somewhere, let's say I go to a hotel, right, or I'm just like taking a trip, I don't want like my battery dies in like 2 hours. I really don't want, you know. I want to last the entire of the trip. Like, let's say if it's like 10 hours trip, and like you give me a laptop, a Linux laptop, OpenBSD laptop, that it can last like 10 hours, right? 10 hours of productive work, not just 10 hours of like, I don't know, watching pictures, looking at the pictures and stuff like that. What version of what you mean? The OpenBSD? If it's OpenBSD, is 7.1 that I'm using, a stable 7.1. And like, in that term, really, like, Mac excels, and like is undisputable. Like, you cannot just say, yeah, it suck, it's closed source, it's proprietary shit, vendor locking and stuff like that, but like they have some positive point as well. So, but nonetheless, yeah, it's I'm just like ranting about random stuff. Yeah, But this is probably is another like a subject that I have to create a video about it. That like, yeah, people, they should stop fighting over this kind of stuff, that whether it's like OpenBSD is better or Linux better, oh maybe it's FreeBSD is better. Yeah, do whatever you want, man. You want to use whatever you want to use. TempleOS, nobody is just like stopping you. But like, why some people, I don't know, get super salty over this kind of thing. They start like commenting, like shit talking on like comment section of the YouTube. That's just like the worst thing. Like, I entirely stopped to interact with people on that like comment section because it's such a clusterfuck. Like, people get offended for no reason, and I'm just saying, come on, man. Like, you are not paying anything to me, and I'm not earning anything. I'm just like doing this one out of like my own interest. But then you just make it like so hard to continue, and it's just like at some point I say, yeah, do whatever that you want to. I don't know like what a person who comments on the videos and stuff like that, in what a state of mind they are, and like what they are thinking. I don't know. It's just like, it could be possible there it could be like a possibility that somebody had a like super bad day, and then they just like randomly stumble upon one of my videos, and then they just don't like it, and then they start, yeah, okay, yeah, you are saying this and that, whatever. Oh, you said this one. I'm saying, and I mentioned, I think, I don't know how many goddamn times I mentioned, like, yeah, come on, man, I'm not like a native speaker. Like, I say the shit wrong all the time, like not the precise word selection I have. And like, yeah, what this and that, you said this in that video. I say, yeah, fuck off. Yeah, you want to dislike, unsubscribe, yes, just go, move on, just leave me alone. Yeah, not the best experience. I don't know, I never tried DWM. I tried to, I think, port the Lucasmith DWM version, and but I don't know, it's just like, to me, like when I switched to i3 like 8 years ago, I would say, right? And then I was like super comfortable with it, and then if you give me any other thing, I say, yeah, I tried 1 hour, I say, yeah, I'm gonna go back to the i3 because I'm comfortable with it. Not that they are, the other options are bad, definitely that's not the case. The thing is, like, I'm in a comfort zone. I don't want to do the configuration again. I don't want to write the configuration again. I just want something to work. And in that case, yes, there are way better options. I don't know, DWM, it could work better. I think the normal version is already available on the OpenBSD repository, but I never tried to install it. As I said, like, just out of my own personal curiosity, one time I tried to port the Lucasmith DWM, and it was working partially. That's why I created the video and I put the script for whomever actually wants to try it out. But I didn't stay on that like for a long time. I think after a couple of hours I just like switched back, because like i3 for me is just like, again, it's more intuitive just for me, because that was the window manager I started to use, and I just like, I have just like a stick with it since then. I wanted to try, but I couldn't find a Wi-Fi driver. Yeah, I understand that. Like, if you have a relatively new hardware that doesn't have, let's say, Intel like chipset or Wi-Fi, then probably yes, you're out of luck, because like a lot of these shits are kind of not, their drivers are not available. In terms of drivers, OpenBSD or BSD in general is much more limited compared to Linux. Like, Linux is just like they just like put everything there now. And also now the companies, right, the vendors, they are like they're fine to put it in, like to add this stuff, because like they can add like the binary blobs and stuff like that. But that's not the case with OpenBSD, so they are not comfortable with having that. And also given the fact that the user base is so small, probably it's not much of the financial justification on the vendor side to support OpenBSD. Or yeah, for some major, let's say, hardware like Ethernet, probably a lot of them are supported, but for Wi-Fi, yeah, not really. Just like there are limited support. No worries, no worries. Yeah, I'm glad that you like it or you loved it. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully you make better use of it than I did. Mine was mainly like experiments. How to enable power saving modes on MTW D Wi-Fi adapter. So I think MTW is the MediaTek, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. If it's a MediaTek, then MediaTek is just like garbage in general. I think they just like add, it has like a very super limited like a support. I don't know. I never had it like a MediaTek, to be honest. This is like a super technical question, and to be honest, if I don't have a hardware with the specification that you are mentioning, I cannot answer that, because like I have an Intel, like a Wi-Fi chipset, and then basically it works out of the box. But for a MediaTek, I don't know. I had actually a dongle, external dongle, that I purchased like 3-4 years ago for some other devices, and basically I have it around. I tried that one, and that one wasn't working at all with OpenBSD, so I gave up. And I searched on those FAQs, I didn't find any driver for it. So I don't know. I unless I have a hardware myself, I cannot like answer that. Sorry to disappoint you. It's just like it takes a probably the best way is just like try to do googling, and if it doesn't work, then find, like, if you didn't find any answer, just go on some of the forums. I don't know, maybe Reddit is a good start if you haven't interacted with the OpenBSD people before. Maybe start with the OpenBSD Reddit, and then see whether it works or not. The best one is it's Intel, in my opinion. Like the best Wi-Fi adapter is Intel. It works out of the box. And yeah, like generally speaking, Intel hardware are like hardware actually are supported well on OpenBSD. Like the GPU is also supported. Like don't, like when it comes to the GPU, don't buy NVIDIA is not supported at all. It falls back to this LLVM pipe stuff, and that one is just like awful. It's just like awful. Like if you open like terminal and you type characters, then the feedback is just like with 1 second delay. Doesn't matter whether you are using the latest and the greatest NVIDIA GPU. So I would say just stick to the Intel stuff. That's the first thing. And maybe not go with the shiniest hardware, with the latest one. Try it on the older hardware. This is like 10 years old hardware. And like people, they ask me, do you have other machines that is like newer? I say, yeah, I have it, but the newest one that I have is from like 7 years ago. So as a developer, I'm using like a 7 years old hardware. This is the newest one I have. I mean, not the one that I'm doing a streaming. This one is 10 years old. But another one I have a X250 ThinkPad, and that is like 7 years old, and it works fine. So yeah, I'm not the best person to answer the hardware question. Like uh my experience is pretty rusty by now. Like the last time, for example, I assembled like a PC desktop, I think was like 15 years ago. Since then I haven't touched it. But speaking of the desktop PC, I have found one on the street randomly like years ago, and then basically sorry, months ago, not years ago, my bad, months ago. And it was wet because that day was raining, so I brought it to home and like did a bit like clean up. It was like super dirty, and surprisingly it actually worked. And I installed FreeBSD on it for the first time. I never tried FreeBSD on a real hardware, by the way. Yeah, it was working okay, but the problem was like this NVIDIA graphic GPU, and this was like I think 13 years old hardware. So I also have like a backlog in that regard to talk about the FreeBSD, because I did some experimentation with it as well. But again, like, yeah, you have too many things on your plate, you don't have, then nothing is a priority. Let's see how long I've been streaming. Okay. Is there any questions, any thoughts, consideration, suggestion, recommendation on what sort of content also you would like to see before I end up this stream? I'm pretty exhausted, to be honest. Even like my voice is going away. Yeah, so I just like stay maybe 2 more minutes, then after that I will end it. And you have the opportunity to write like what you want to you want me to talk about, or you have questions before I finish it. Alright, so seems there's no question. So thanks everybody who has tuned in to this stream, and hopefully for the next one I will plan it more properly. This one was more or less like a test stream on OpenBSD. And yeah, see you next time. Bye for now.